The opponent looking to play out to the very bitter end, hoping that Diggersby's bulk will save him from the wrath of Shadow Toxicroat. Toxicroat gonna fire off the first dynamic punch, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Toxicroat reach dynamic punch number 2, and we're about to ask Diggersby, you might be thick, but are you thick enough? Welcome back to the channel. It's been over 1 week since I've shoutcast any battles on the channel. I'll be brutally honest, even if the game was working as intended, I much prefer shoutcasting to showcasing my own battles. This week has been a dreadful experience for me personally. I've been super frustrated. I think the game runs like absolute shit. We're going to put all of that behind us and get back to doing what I personally think I do best, shoutcasting. Some incredibly fun battles submitted to the channel. Today's battles have been submitted by Devoncheddar, and he is running a very insane triple glass cannon team in the Open Great League. As far as glass cannon teams go, this is probably one of the craziest ones I've ever featured on the channel. We have 0 bulk, and I mean completely no bulk whatsoever. Cacturne, Sneasler and Toxicroak, all of them, if you look at them the wrong way, they faint. So you know we're going to be in for a good time. The trade-off for that is all 3 Pokemon hit like an absolute truck. I'm going to keep the intro short and sweet. And without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, Devoncheddar leads Shadow Cacturne into Drapion. Drapion could provide somewhat of a problem for us. Let's see how Devoncheddar looks to deal with it. We see the save switch into Sneasler. The opponent fire off the Aqua Tail. Oh my days. A non-stop Aqua Tail does like 65% of our HP. The opponent pivots out into Jellicent. Sneasler fires off the Aerial Ace. Looks to reach Aerial Ace number 2, but unfortunately we get fully Hex Farmed down. In theory, Cacturne should fully wall this moveset, unless on the off chance of an Ice Beam, which I highly doubt, but even a resisted Shadow Ball does monstrous damage. Cacturne able to hang on and get that Sucker Punch farm down. Back out comes Drapion. Cacturne able to outpace to the Dynamic Punch, which should be forcing the first Protect Shield of the game. Drapion obliges, putting up that Protect Shield, and it's time for the Frog to hit the field of play. Toxicroat instantly puts up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Aqua Tail. Devoncheddar wastes no time, looking to fire off the Dynamic Punch, looking to move Drapion from the field of play. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield, revealing they might be weak in the back. Devoncheddar thought about tanking the Aqua Tail, then thought better of it, knowing that Toxicroat is insanely glassy. The opponent sends out Diggersby. Toxicroat fires off a Dynamic Punch. Diggersby near gets one shot. Devoncheddar farms up, makes the catch, back onto Cacturne. Oh my days, what a catch. Scorching Sands removes us from the field of play. Toxicroak looks for the resisted Poison Sting farm down. Devoncheddar recognises he's going to be unable to get it. Fires off Dynamic Punch, removing them from the field of play. Back out comes Drapion. Toxicroak able to outpace to the next Dynamic Punch. And just like that, we're off to a 1-0 start. What a game. GG's. Devoncheddar's energy management absolutely on point in that battle. Heading into battle number 2, a much better lead. Cacturne into Feraligatr. The opponent opting to stay in, which is certainly a decision. The fast move pressure is all with Cacturne. I've been Cacturne in this matchup, and if you tank a Hydro Cannon, it's really a sad scenario where the opponent can resist the Shadow Claw farm us down. Devoncheddar invests the Protect Shield, fires off the Trailblaze, forcing our Protect Shield back. We then see the catch onto Sneasler. Oh my gosh, Sneasler did not appreciate that Hydro Cannon, but thankfully we have baited out the ground type, although our Cacturne is already severely chipped. We really need this to go unshielded. I think we could. Come on, trainer, please let it go. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. No, the opponent fully mods that farm us down. It's now Toxicroak versus the world. Can Toxicroak pull off the impossible? Okay, we quickly shot the Earth Power. Devoncheddar gonna farm up, throw the Dynamic Punch on what looks like to be a charge attack priority. We need something in the back we can one-shot. Ask and you shall receive. No, we get some lag. I don't think the opponent made a catch. Dynamic Punch lands on its intended target. How healthy is that Gator? It's going to be Poison Sting versus Shadow Claw. Toxicroak able to farm down. I almost had an anxiety attack, but we're able to take that game. Holy, please tell me all the battles aren't going to be like that. In the next battle, we see the battle of the 2 glass cannons. It's Sucker Punch versus Bullet Punch. We farm up, make the Night Slash catch onto Sneasler. A very nice catch. Sneasler actually tanked that fairly well, and the opponent actually sent out Drifblim, which is by no means a good matchup. Devoncheddar could have fired off the Aerial Ace, but perhaps intentionally didn't throw, looking to force the energy. Let's see what Devoncheddar's cooking up. Cacturne hits the field of play, fires off 2 Sucker Punches and the Trailblaze. Trailblaze goes unshielded, removing them from the field of play. As we're boosted, we're able to simultaneously KO, and it's now Toxicroak versus Diggersby. Of course, this one would have to run Mudshot, because why not when we're a Poison type? I haven't seen a Mudshot Diggersby probably in about 6 or 7 seasons, but here we are. Both Toxicroat and Diggersby pace at the same speed to these charge moves at Fire Punch and Dynamic Punch respectively, so the opponent is going to have to tank a Dynamic Punch. Diggersby, you sir, might be thick, but Toxicroat is about to put that bulk to the test. The second Dynamic Punch forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We reach the next Dynamic Punch. Is Dynamic Punch enough to knock out? Was there ever any doubt? Toxicroat says, get that Diggersby off my screen, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Fortress in the lead position. Certainly a matchup we need to switch out of. We see the save switch into Sneasler, once again baiting Jellison into the arena. Both Sneasler and Toxicroak share the exact same poison fighting typing, meaning we double resist bugs. So if we're able to flip this matchup, we completely flip this game on its head. The opponent don't shield the aerial ace, unfortunately unable to Shadow Claw farm down before the second surf's reached. Devoncheddar go down both Protect Shields just to flip that god-awful alignment. Sneasler does leave with residual energy, good to go, and out comes Drapion. We are going for that kill shot. Does the opponent respect the damage? Okay, we reach another one. Once again, the same question. Close combat. Bang! There it is. Sneasler able to land the first big boom of what I hope to be plenty in today's video. And it's now Fortress versus the world. The opponent fire off the Sand Tomb, which is super effective and does debuff Toxicroak's defense, but these bug bites are still double resisted. Toxicroak fires off the first Dynamic Punch, force the opponent's final Protect Shield. Toxicroak will not be denied, reaches the next Dynamic Punch, almost picking up that one-hit KO. The opponent reached one further Sand Tomb. Sand Tomb will be moving us from the field of play, but Cacturne gonna come in, Sucker Punch farm down, and we take that game. Sometimes my motivation to play this game or even post content gets super low, and then I shoutcast a submission like this and I remember why I love this game. In the next battle, we see Cacturne interfere it. The opponent's non-stab Sucker Punches are hitting for resisted, where our stab Sucker Punches are tearing through Ferret's HP. We see the Protect Shield deployed on the Swift. We overfarm, fire off the Trailblaze, moving Ferret from the field of play. Out comes Skeledirge. We see the pivot into Sneasler, and out comes a Razor Leaf Vic. What season is this? Come on, trainer. Get yourself on acid. We fire first Aerial Ace. Sneasler looks to reach the next Aerial Ace. Come on, Sneasler, man. You're a poison type. Don't let us down like that. Getting resisted. Razor Leaf farm down. We send out Toxicroat. Looks like we look to fire for Dynamic Punch, but unfortunately lose CMP. Oh boy, that's very unfortunate. There's actually an IV dependent CMP, usually in Toxicroat's favour, but this time it doesn't quite work out for us. The opponent does a huge favour, throwing a charge move. We sneak the Sucker Punch. Do two Sucker Punches knock out? Yes, they do. The opponent completely threw the battle. We're not complaining, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Dedenne in the lead position. It's a no thank you. We actually see a simultaneous KO. With the battle of fighting type, Sneasler into Farfetch. We go straight for the Aerial Ace. Oh my days, have you ever seen an Aerial Ace do so much damage? What the heck just happened? Farfetch was straight in and straight out. Sneasler still not done. Going to fire after close combat, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. The opponent even don't commit to the farm down and look to dump energy. Sneasler putting in so much work. Devoncheddar now has a shield advantage, and his choice of switch, we actually send back out Cacturne. We're even calling the Parabolic Charge bait. The opponent does fire off the Parabolic Charge, look to throw back to back. They're now going to have a 3-stage buffed up defense. That might actually be advantageous for us. It's just going to give Toxicroat even more farm. Currently, this combination of Fighting and Ghost is completely unwallable in Pokemon Go. We are soon about to get a Normal and Ghost type, which would single resist both. However, at the time of recording, we are still unresisted. Out comes Komodo. We fire off Dynamic Punch. The opponent recognising they're going to have to tank the first one, which they didn't do particularly well. The opponent like, you've got me. They're going to concede the match, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, Gligar, another problematic Pokemon for us. The opponent is going to outpace to an Aerial Ace. I have no doubt, once again, will look like a good move when Sneasler is on the receiving end. We invest that Protect Shield, overfarm, look to return fire with our own Aerial Ace. Unfortunately, the opponent invests that protection. They are able to outpace by a single turn to Aerial Ace number 2. Oh, that's definitely a one-hit KO. Aerial Ace today looking like one of the best moves in the game. I think this is a world's first. This is the first and only time you've seen Aerial Ace in back-to-back battles pick up a clean one-hit KO. The opponent then pivots out into Grimer. My eyes deceiving me, or is that a legacy, or I should say unobtainable legacy Acid Grimer? Holy, what a flex. The only time this was available in the game was 2016. You cannot Elite TM it. You need to find someone with that Pokemon. However, it made a very brief cameo appearance. Toxicroat able to farm down. Out comes the snail. I think here we need to overfarm a bit more. We do fire off Dynamic Punch, removing them from the field of play. But Gligar, still with Shield to hide behind, will be able to invest this Protect Shield. And they are going to be able to outpace to the next Aerial Ace. And we're going to see a really unfortunate scenario of Aerial Ace once again picking up a one-hit KO. And the opponent is able to emerge victorious. GG's to both trainers. In the next battle, we see Shadow and Shadow Cacturne very much in Devoncheddar's favour. The opponent say switches into Furret. We send out Toxicroat. Toxicroat wastes no time, goes straight for the Dynamic Punch, looking for a one-hit KO. The opponent, nah, I'm going to shield that up. Devoncheddar going to tank the Swift. One Swift is survivable, but potentially puts us in a position where we are going to get resisted. Sucker Punch farm down. Looks like Devoncheddar is going to offer the opponent to take back switch, but that is going to cost them both Protect Shield. Devoncheddar lets himself get as low as he physically can on the off chance the opponent don't shield up the next Dynamic Punch. The opponent desperate to realign, do oblige, putting up that Protect Shield. Devoncheddar still with a shield to hide behind, not going to shield up the Swift. Swift does absolutely monstrous damage. Cacturne looking for the farm down, unable to get it, and looks like we're putting all our hopes and dreams on Sneasler cleaning up. Sneasler hits the field of play, back out comes Dusclops. Devoncheddar going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Shadow Punch. Here I think we throw 4. Then the Aerial Ace. Oh my god, we get a huge amount of lag. Hopefully Shadow and Shadow Cacturne Aerial Ace will be enough to pick up the knockout. Down goes Dusclops. Furret is alive, but now nothing more than a sacrificial swap. We need something in the back we can one-shot. Do 2 Aerial Aces knock out Gligar. The first Aerial Ace doesn't quite do half the health. We're unable to reach the next Aerial Ace. The opponent reached their own Aerial Ace. I'm well aware that I've said the word Aerial Ace over and over again, but you kind of get the point, and this one does end in heartbreaking defeat. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we've got Shadow and Shadow Cacturne, the battle of the absolute fast move pressure. Bullet Punch and Sucker Punch, now both clones of each other. The opponent actually ends up simultaneously swapping. Banking the Night Slash as Sneasler hits the field of play. Sneasler looks to tank the Aerial Ace, which is able to do on fractional HP. Sneasler looking to farm up to that double CC. The first CC rocks Mandibuzz into the red health range. Devoncheddar shows great commitment, recognises he's going to survive the next Snarl, fires off the next close combat and able to force himself a shield advantage here in the mid-game matchup. We've seen quite a lot of Aerial Ace one-hit KOs in today's video, and I think this can only be put down to Mandibuzz hitting like a wet noodle that Sneasler was actually able to survive that move. Devoncheddar putting all his hopes and dreams on Toxicroat versus the world. Toxicroat going to invest that Protect Shield, blocking up the Aerial Ace. The opponent then go for the wham bam combo play, fire off the Night Slash. The Night Slash won't do much, but my gosh, look at the bullet punches go. The opponent was able to get the boost, so of course they're just going to shield this move up, tap the phone like a raving lunatic. We're going to get fast move beat down, and there's not really a lot we can do about that battle. Heading into the next battle, we get a chance at redemption. Oh my gosh, they're on Fury Cutter. 4 Fury Cutters actually did like half our health. That is absurd. We make the pivot into Sneasler and once again bait out a Jellicent. We get a huge amount of lag, which is kind of what we're accustomed to now. It's season 23. And let's be honest, this game doesn't ever get better. It just continues to decline in front of our eyes. But on a more serious note, this is definitely a matchup we can look to flip. I'm anticipating Devoncheddar double shielding here and looking for the Shadow Claw farm down. He does exactly that. We shield up the serve. Sneasler looks for the farm down, able to get it. Back out comes Scizor. Scizor going to be greeted with the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace hits for neutral, but Scizor not really known for its bulk. Scizor invests the Protect Shield and dump energy, and this is like best case scenario. We find ourselves in a shieldless game. Toxicroat not only double resist the quick move, it should wall the move set as well. However, we are hitting for double resisted with a poison sting. The opponent fire off the Night Slash, make the pivot into Gliscopod. We farm up, make the catch, back onto Cacturne. Okay, is a Shadow Ball going to one-shot? Devoncheddar farms up as much as he physically can. Come on, Toxicroat. Pick up that one-hit KO. Shadow Ball does pick up that one-hit KO. We're able to outpace to that Dynamic Punch. And Toxicroak absolutely cooks the back line. Oof, what a win. That was a prime example of what Toxicroat can do. Yes, this thing is bloody glassy, but my gosh, can it get itself off to the race in certain scenarios. 3 for 3 on Scizor leads. Thankfully, this one is running Bullet Punch, meaning our Cacturne isn't getting eaten alive. We say switch into Sneasler, making the catch. Once again, baiting out Jellicent. I'll be honest, with the game state, I'm not watching any content currently. Who the heck put this team out, as we've seen it in 3 consecutive battles, which is quite honestly ridiculous. I guess that's somewhat of a lie. I still watch Callum, because Callum's just entertainment. It's not like he's sweating and trying to showcase try-hard teams. He's just a fun watch. And also FB Sticks, his return. And for the nostalgia, I have been watching his stuff too. Devoncheddar was able to maintain alignment, were able to fully Sucker Punch farm down Sizzle before it reached another charge move, and out comes Dunsparce. Can we reach triple dynamic punch? We've got one banked on Cacturne, and Toxicroat just needs to reach 2, and the pace and advantage is very much in our favour, taking only 10 turns, where Dunsparce does alternate between 12 and 9. Toxicroat reaches the second dynamic punch, which should be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and it does exactly that. It now comes down to this. Is a non-stab dynamic punch from the attack weighted Cacturne, and after pick up the one hit KO, Cacturne fires off the dynamic punch. Bang! There it is. Shout out to another OG. Oxford U for that quote. Have no doubt. Cacturne picks up that one hit KO, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Shiny Como in the lead position. Of course, atrocious for Cacturne and pretty bad for the entirety of our team, as Dragon Tail applies massive fast move pressure, and we've got nothing that resists fast move pressure. The opponent goes for the one shield, full Dragon Tail farm down, and this energy just goes everywhere. Devoncheddar sends Cacturne back into the arena, looks to sacrifice it to the Pokegods. Oof. Huge one hit KO. Out comes Toxicroak. It is Toxicroak versus the world. The opponent fire off the Brick Break pivot into Sizzle, and this is going to be an absolute slaughtering. With us very quickly getting tap, fast move beat down. If you're going to run these glassy teams, it's certainly going to happen. There is literally nothing we can do against that team. We're just going to pretend it never happened and move swiftly on. Devoncheddar looking to bounce back, and that is not the lead he's hoping to see. Cacturne will be getting eaten alive by Arachnid. However, we've got 2 double resistance to bug in the back with our fighting poison boys. We say switch this time into Toxicroak, baiting out Mandibuzz. You can see Dynamic Punch actually does 2-shot. Devoncheddar going to look to make a play at taking back switch. We're going to shoot up the aerial ace, throw the correct 4 poison stings and the Dynamic Punch. Are we doubled up here, or are we 1 short? Hopefully doubled up. The next Dynamic Punch forces the Protect Shield. We are indeed doubled up, and the opponent now has a decision to make. The opponent double shield Mandibuzz. We then farm up, make the catch, back onto Cacturne, recognising it is completely dead weight if switch advantage cannot be won. There, I think Mandibuzz should have committed to the Snarl farm down. The opponent sniped with a Bug Bite, re-switch locking this very annoying Arachnid. And that does us a huge favour, meaning Sneasler can now sink its claws into it. Aerial Ace will hit for super effective, but this is definitely going to look like an Aerial Ace. As we are debuffed and it is non-stab. To be honest, it's actually still quite respectable. These bubble beams aren't doing much of anything. I think if I was the opponent, a Bug Buzz would still probably do more, or potentially even a Water Pulse. We'll reset that debuff, pivot into Toxicroak, just go straight for the Dynamic Punch, looking to move it from the field of play before we get very annoyingly debuffed. Back out comes Mandibuzz. Can we Poison Sting farm down Mandibuzz? Toxicroak, not going to risk it, instead going to opt for the Dynamic Punch. What is that third? It's a shieldless game. Is it something we can one-shot? Oh, baby! Hi, Bastiodon. Devoncheddar looks to farm up, fire off the double Dynamic Punch. We get a huge amount of lag, which probably means this toxic opponent has force closed the app. We're still lagging, but Toxicroak will not be denied. The first Dynamic Punch almost picks up the one hit KO. We pivot into Sneasler, get that Shadow Claw farm down. The world's glassiest team that Devoncheddar's running is able to beat the world's bulkiest team. You absolutely love to see it. What a way to end today's video. A huge shout out to Devoncheddar. That team was incredible. It's definitely got an F for bulk, or if PvPoke went past F, this would definitely be a Z. But my gosh, was that some fun. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel. A link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.